Gracie from Backstage Features. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today, Dylan.
Yeah, of course. Great talking to
I
you.
have to start off by saying I'm a huge fan of you in all of your films, so it's such an honor to be talking to you about this one.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks.
this film is so great. It's such a good mix of being heartfelt while still being so entertaining. Can't wait for audiences to see it on August 30th. But when we first meet your character specifically, he's very chill and go with the flow. And then throughout this film, you see him go through a lot of changes that really changes his perception of life. What
Yeah.
was that like, actor taking on this role? But also, what did you learn from this character?
I mean, I think that, it's really interesting whenever I get to play a character that uh is in a world that is very different from me. But I think that he felt out of place, and I always enjoy playing a character that kind of feels out of place as well. Um so yeah, he doesn't have that kind of criminal instinct that the rest of his family has. He kind of leads with his heart a little bit more. And Yeah, I think I learned because when you work on a script, you want to figure out the levels. You want to figure out where your character starts and where they end up, and obviously you don't shoot things in order. So I think it was just another way to practice figuring out kind of knowing where I needed to be at a specific time in the story, and how I was gonna grow from there. Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but
No,
but
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, and I love the on-screen chemistry that you have with your brother and your dad, Ray and Scott. Did you guys have any preparation before you started filming to kind of get that off family vibe kind of?
Not no, when we got to set, we kind of spent some time talking about the family dynamic and doing it there, but no, not until we kind of got there on location. But then once we were there, we were really able to dig into it and have conversations with Ariel, and talk about the family dynamic, and kind of how we view each other, and how the relationships differ from each other. So we were able to build a lot on set.
Definitely. Do you think there would have been a bonding moment, or what would you guys have done to build this strange family dynamic that they have?
Well, it's interesting because the family isn't very close. You know what I mean? Like
No.
the brothers are. So Scott and I kind
Yes.
of on
Yeah.
set had a lot of moments. We went out to dinner a couple times, and we just kind of hung out and built that brotherly relationship. But Ray's character is very separate from us. So it almost helped that we didn't have those bonding moments, because it felt like a father who doesn't really know how to raise his sons, and doesn't, tries his best, but it doesn't really seem like he knows what's best for them.
Yeah, the ending for this family was crazy, so I can't wait for people to see that. But talking about Ray, to honor his memory, do you have a favorite moment with him, either on screen or off screen?
Um, there were a lot. I think that Ray just brought a lot of love and intensity to what he did. And just every day getting to work with him was a really wonderful gift. He's someone who I, of course, watched and was a huge fan of, and someone I, of course, would have wanted to work with, but never thought I would. So getting the opportunity to learn from him was really, really wonderful.
Definitely. And a huge part of this is obviously family, but we also have the heist that goes on. If you
Yeah.
had to pick one of your family members to do a heist with, who are you picking and what are you guys thinking of stealing?
Oh wow. Uh, I'd probably go with my dad, just because
Okay.
I feel like he can be low key about a lot of things. He could sneak in some areas, and he knows a lot. He could talk to some people. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is the Declaration of Independence, but that's maybe because I watched National Treasure recently.
You know what?
So
That's a great movie though. So you could have that in your room or in the living room.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that'd be pretty cool to have, and you'd have a good story if you didn't get
Yeah,
caught.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%. But if you could describe your character as a whole, because obviously he does change a lot, in three words, what would they be?
Um, Naive, loving, um, scared.
Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. And obviously, this covers some difficult topics, but also important topics and moments in history. What do you hope people coming out of the theater take from this film as a whole?
I mean, as a whole, I think that there's these really wonderful family relationships, and it's a father trying to save his son in this really difficult moment in time. But I think it's also reflective of how we have changed, but we also haven't changed. So I think it's just an interesting thing to look at and reflect on your own relationships in your life.
Definitely. And my last question for you, this character seems like he wants to be friends with everybody, and I love that about him, even though he's kind of torn with his family. Which of your past characters do you think would end up being best friends with this man?
That's a good question. Honestly, probably probably my character from After, just because he kind of
That's what I was
is
thinking, but
already
I was
very
really
sweet.
hoping you said
Although I'm
it.
not sure they would ever run in the same circles, but I think that they would secretly get along. I feel like Dennis would secretly be friends with him, but not want anyone to know.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking the same thing, so I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations on everything again. I can't wait to see what's next for you and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.